Okay. Hey, everybody. I am Cinnamon Cooney, your Art Sherpa, and hopefully you are here right now at this moment for your Zoom Paint Along Live for part 3 of Bird in Flight. So if you're watching this on replay, what we figured out we could do with the help of my husband, John, who's on the mic. Oh, he's not on the mic. Never mind. I'm incorrect.
I had to push the button.
Hi, Colleen. Hi, Valerie.
Can everyone hear us?
I hope everyone can hear us.
Let's find out. If everyone's not screaming, we can't hear you.
Yeah. Type if you can't hear. Okay, so you don't have to paint along, but you could paint along, and this will become part of our patronage. It's something we can do with patrons that I think, we can't even do on YouTube. We go live on YouTube, but nobody can come paint with me, so you are welcome to come paint with me. You are welcome to watch from YouTube, whatever works for you. If you're going to be in the Paint With Me Zoom, we ask that you be mute and then type in to the chat a question, and then Colleen or John will pull that out. And it's only if you have one. Or do the thing ahead. Don't see anyone in the waiting room. So I feel like
everyone's over here in chat.
Are they all in chat? Well, they're welcome to. They can be in chat or they can be in the waiting room of the Zoom. If they need the Zoom link, if the mods could share the Zoom link.
I think I might be able to.
And John might be able to. This is part 3. This may be 3-part. This may be 4-part. I know we have the really gorgeous Santa image that we're moving on to. But I don't want to rush this. So we'll just see how this goes, how we do. If it goes well, then we may be wrapping up today. But we're not going to push ourselves along. Also, I had to see the dentist today, and we all know that doesn't leave me in the best state. Though I have to say I'm so grateful for the medical staff right now, because this dental work is super dangerous stuff in the COVID reality. So
all clean teeth.
Yeah, they didn't do anything to me, but I have so much anxiety that even when they're great, I wear myself out.
Is there anyone else?
There's just Valerie and Colleen.
There's people here. I'm just trying to make sure. I'm coming over to help.
But sorry for being loud in y'all's ear. But Valerie and Colleen are very important, and I would do this even if one person showed up. So just so you know, if you are supporting us, know that I will support you at that level.
Can I ask a question of Colleen?
I don't know.
Can you hear us in the Zoom, Colleen? Does everything sound good there? Oh, good.
Okay, excellent. Now, know that if you're in the Zoom, you're not being recorded.
Okay, so here's the thing.
That might be something you don't know.
Yeah, you're not being recorded in Zoom. Only what's going out on YouTube is being recorded. On YouTube.
And we might pick up your voice tangentially, very almost not audio,
just
not
a little
hearable.
bit over.
Oh, that's so cool! I see myself in my Zoom in my gorgeous little painting.
So that's what you see. So what you see on Zoom is what in Cinnamon's window is what we're recording.
Hopefully this is a happy accident. Could not find my Indian yellow. I have 20 tubes. Who knows where they are? Missing in the house somewhere. So all I could locate was a very close color to it, which is nickel azo yellow, another one of my favorite yellows. You could just use cad yellow if that's all you had, or if you had the Indian yellow, it would work really, really well here. Sometimes I lose large amounts of art supplies. Just lose it. Okay, I see something in the chat. Checking the chat. Oh, Colleen is saying, hey, I'm watching you from YouTube and from here.
Simul watching.
So.
If you put one lens up to each eye, it'd be like VR, only worse.
So I'm going to pull down some acrylic brushes.
It would be sensory overload of social media.
Like with our turkey, I do think I want to get into the grass combs. I think if you want to do birds or natural paintings, investing in some filbert grass combs is a good idea. There's a lot of style of grass combs. The ones that look like rakes, you can make them work, but they're so cut out that you have to kind of make sure that you're not making very linear, consistent patterns. So it's just something, to watch for just in case it comes up. I want to definitely use brushes that are small enough for the painting and find my way into this. Let's start out with a cat's tongue number 4. I have a few of those. From Valerie to everyone, I'll be on video, but on bed rest and not looking pretty today. Valerie, I have to tell you, I so relate to that. And because here's why, I actually am looking at learning how to create an animation of myself. I was talking to my daughter about this, where I map my face and then create a character and use this software to animate me so that I can, on days I don't feel like I look like I want to be on camera, I could animate. I could be, my avatar is a cartoon.
A cartoon.
So I understand that. It's like, I'm here, but I'm not like here. There it is. I have like that. This is a little bit of one because, dentist fear. So I've got my number for it, and I'm going to start just sort of laying in what's going on with him. One thing I'll say whenever we're doing feathers or we're doing birds, past the general underpainting where you start getting some value and everything on there, I highly recommend that you think about how the feathers layer. So you don't want to try to put like these feathers on before you put the furthest feathers on. It's a thing to think about. And now think about that you should have pulled your yellow ochre out before you needed it, and then you didn't. And you're doing this on camera so everybody can see that you didn't and know that you didn't.
That's the right way of doing it.
Yeah, apparently, because it's the way it's happening today. If you're wondering if this is real or if this is live. And guess what? If I don't find my yellow ochre, you know what I'm going to do? I will mix some brown and yellow. So if I don't find it in short order, which I'm not, the tub not being my friend, the only way I have enough space on this thing is if I tub up the paints. If I don't tub up the paints, I can't even make it work. So I'm going to take some yellow and some burnt sienna, and I'm going to mix them together with some white and get an approximation of yellow ochre. Like you do. Like I do when I forget to pull the yellow ochre out. But you can see it gets pretty close. And I'm going to start kind of painting in some sort of baseline for Mr. Bird here, just because I want to begin to lighten up maybe a bit of his aspect. I'll put his little feet in a minute, but I just want to start to get in a little of him. Now, one of the tricks that I'll do as I'm painting this out, where I don't want to lose the lines that I so thoughtfully put in to build his structure, is I'll make little value differences between certain areas so that they still register as different from the other. So like maybe down here where I'm going into the tail, I add a little more yellow and a little more white. So what happens is you can see just a slightly different value. And I won't go too far down because I still have to layer the feathers. So I need to leave room for my grass comb to work. Come underneath here. You've got to paint around something. Do so somewhat carefully. Checking on I got to check on my participants. Oh, I got somebody in the waiting room. Callie Beasley is showing up. Don't remove her. Admit her. Don't click the wrong button. Hi, Callie. And welcome to the Paint With Me. So we're going to have these... you guys will get the most of them. The Power Patrons will get the most lives. Live Paint With Me's. I think you'll have anywhere from 3 to 5 in a month, possibly more, depending on the crazy projects that I decide to take on. And they're going to be like this. We're going to see. Now, if we find another bit of software that's easier to use than Zoom, we're going to go into it. Mm-hmm. But we have not done that yet, so we don't know what software would be easier to use than Zoom. And again, I'm just trying to make sure that I'm like, oh yeah, this is different part of him than this other part of him. Doesn't have to be perfect. I just kind of need to know where things generally are as I'm lightening up Mr. Birdface. Lightening him up right there. You can see it's sort of blocking in, and then I can come right in almost to the brown here. Add a little brown. So it's like an underpainting, but not as much. I can't see anything on YouTube, John. So are you over on YouTube chat?
I am.
So what's happening in YouTube chat?
Well, Patty is saying hello to Katie and Linda, and they're all having a little chat. Barbara is over here with us.
So I have to wonder, are the evening times better for you guys than the daytimes?
Look at this. Technology.
Oh my goodness.
Wait, no, I can't do that because then everyone will see that. Actually, I can do that, but everyone in...
They won't see the mixing.
Well,
if you put the chat over it, they won't see the mixing. I wish there was a way to make
Nope, you're right. I'm pretty sure if this goes up here, they won't... But see the people... Oh, I think it's the folks out on Zoom will see it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they'll see that. If I put the chat up there over your thing, it'll block
for Zoom.
Yeah, Zoom.
We don't want to block it for Zoom. They're painting with me.
Right, so I can't.
I want them to paint with me.
Right, I can't put that up over there.
You know, I want them to paint with me and be here with me. And again, you can come over here and be on Zoom if you want to be in the Zoom experience and not be on camera. But what hopefully will happen is, look, what I'm hoping will happen is you guys are going to get brave, and we're going to turn these into home painting parties. And at the end, you know, you guys can show me your art. We can talk about how it went. You can, you know, be asking me questions as we're going and showing me what's going on. Now, we have sort of some patroning news.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, much patron news. So much patron news.
Yes.
The first one is that we, and I don't laugh, we may be moving the patronage to Patreon.
Well, we may move it to another platform to what we're doing. And what that means is that we have a lot of technology that we manage right now.
I'm just letting you know I'm adding more white.
And when we looked at the best way to make it easy for you guys, it may be that integrating with some of the things that Patreon offer will make it easier for you guys to sort of see some things. So you won't have to do anything. When it comes time, it'll automatically just let everybody know. So
basically what's going on, guys, is, you know, the dashboards are a little clunky, and there's going to be a video I make about this website journey that some web hosts are going to be like, oh no. But it's just not working as the developing team, you know, told us it would, and that we have paid for it too. So we keep running into this, and then the new website we were building, all of a sudden, you know, of course, after everyone collects the money, they come back with, I don't know, we can do all those things. And this has been just a consistent, constant problem we've literally had since starting to do the website. And so we were like, how can we make people's experience better? How can we make their billing secure? How can we make it where they can cancel and join or upgrade or do things and have it be easier? Like we just started asking the question, what would make it just a lot easier for you? If we can't do it on the website, right, which hopefully we will, but if we couldn't, how could we make it easier for you? You know, putting you guys just first. Sometimes, like when we're not sure how to solve something, we kind of get into that, you know, question space of how can we make, you know, something easier for you. I love these brushes for feathers because they just want to make that feather shape. Now you can see the chalk line here. I don't want to go all the way to the edge because I want to be able to do delicate little fussy bits. So it's so good to see Callie and Valerie. I hope Valerie is doing okay on her bed rest. Callie says evenings are better for her. I'm on the West Coast and work until 4 except the week for the holiday. That's why we kind of started giving the patrons the priority evening time slots. Is we were thinking that, but definitely write us in and let us know. We wanted to make sure people could get here from work if this was a thing. And I guess I can't see the chat, but John can. And you guys will have to let me know, like, do you like this idea of having these be like little home painting parties where you can participate? Like, I know sometimes you guys participate in real time.
I can only imagine that the answer to that would be yes.
Well, I don't know. Like, you don't want to be on camera. A lot of people would want to be on camera, but you are like, if you love me, you will not put me on camera.
You know, I have some some fun stuff with music I'll be playing with here soon.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's exciting. I don't know what that is, though.
Well, so
I'm getting some black on a detail brush. I'm loading the detail brush. I've used water to fluid it out. I'm going to come in and just kind of make sure that I am working in the eye. Yeah, I can see it happening already. He's getting all mad. Oh, my birds are so angry. They're so like, you messed with the natural law. You know, I have this owl painting that I did years ago. I think like 7 years ago now, that I think I might bring to the patronage at some point. But it's a little bit dark in its narrative. It's an owl, and the eyes are really big, and he's wet and kind of bedraggled with crazy feathers. And there's a black cat in his eye, and it's called The Executioner. Mm-hmm. If we get through all this, I'll have to bring him out and, you know, maybe teach some of that. Maybe even teach you guys how I used to do some of my horse paintings for exhibit and stuff. Bring some fun things to the forefront is what I say. All right, we're good. We're good. I'm just, every once in a while you see me checking. If you're here on the YouTube watching live, every once in a while I'm checking over to the Zoom room to make sure that the participants, I'm seeing them as they come in. So as I go forward, I've got to make some crazy delicate feathers. This is sort of a focusy little bit. And then I will be, and actually I should put out some green. And the reason is just in case I need to come back into the wings in some kind of way.
Some green.
Yeah, with any background. So I'll put that right there next to my Nickel Azo yellow, which is the ugliest yellow on the palette and the prettiest yellow on the canvas and the prettiest yellow. I hate how I can't close a cap.
What's wrong?
I don't know. I can never, look at this. I can never close a cap. I twist and I twist and I don't get it right. I don't get it lined up. And Mom keeps trying to convince us that we should manufacture something that rethreads these caps for people.
Because that's what I got time to go do.
Well, it's just that she really wants one and she knows you can do it. So she's like, how can I get John to make that happen? I'm going to
I've got an idea for one, actually. I just haven't had time to work on it. Later.
I'm going to just make a little bit of green, and I'm going to bring this up here into the wing a bit, and I'll blend it out, but I just want to make sure that I can piece out these delicate little feathers as I build it out. So how I'm going to blend that out a bit is I'm going to wipe the brush off with a towel and kind of blend out this glazing green. I'm just making sure that I have an irregular amount of it, and then that way when the feathers go over, it'll be same.
Gotcha.
Same. Even easier over here. I don't have a hairdryer.
Oh, you went over the way on the other side.
Yeah, I'm just, one wing, other wing. Just making sure that we got it.
You're winging it.
I'm winging. I am winging it. I'm winging teaching a virtual painting party, and I'm winging painting right now. I'm never really winging painting anymore. I think that's been an interesting transition in the last 10 years of my life. I don't wing painting anymore.
Yeah.
Like on any level. Like some paintings are frustrating and they may not always work out, but I never feel like that sense of like I used to go into a painting and be like, can I do it? I don't know. Now I'm kind of like, I can do it, but am I up to the work?
Do I want to?
Do I want to do the prep work to do it? And can I do it at this crazy angle? Like sometimes it's hard to paint flat compared to painting at an easel. Or sometimes if work is very large in scale, there's some challenges there. But there was this sort of like not knowing if a painting was going to work out early on. And now there's just sort of like, if not this painting, the next one. And it just all feels kind of like, there's a different excitement. Like there is excitement and there is giddiness. It's just for different things now is what it is. Valerie says she's doing to everyone. She says she's doing okay, bouncing back slowly, going stir crazy. Will definitely join the painting party next time. Yes, Valerie's feeling brave as soon as she recovers. And for everyone who is going through recovery right now, take care of your health. My father-in-law got COVID, and you know, man, it was really touch and go. There was a period there we were not sure.
Yeah.
He's okay. He's home now. But it did damage to his lungs. It hurt him. So, and I mean, this is just, you know, in the list of illness just sucks. Let's just go with that. I'm against illness and I want to stomp it in the face. Just sickness, I want to stomp it in the face.
Mm-hmm.
So I went into art as a career.
That's what
instead of medicine, because that kept you all safer, because I would not have been a good doctor. That's the great gift I gave you that you don't even know I gave you.
You might be a good doctor. You
No. No. First of all, I could not tell anybody. Actually, I was going to be a vet as a kid. Like, that was my dream. I knew I could draw and everything, but that isn't what I thought I was going to be when I grew up. First, I thought I was going to be a jockey, but then I grew just a little too much for that. And then, you know, I realized I couldn't be an airline stewardess like my mom had encouraged me to be, because I wasn't growing tall enough for that. And there used to be a height requirement. And I loved horses, and I was like, I liked the smell of them, and I liked the dust in the air, and I liked everything about everything. Just the way oats and molasses smelled, and their little breathies in the morning. And it was just deep for me. And I thought I was going to be a vet. And then I had, we competed nationally on the national stage for NATRC, which is the National American Trail Ride Conference. And I was going for a divisional championship, and on a new horse I had gotten. He was my first real size horse. Up until then, I'd had a pony. Mm-hmm. This was my first real size horse, and his name was Blue Man Eagle, and he's just beautiful. And he came from this amazing line of Egyptian Arabians. And we were in Northern California when he got really sick, and he had colic, and it went south fast. I was sleeping outside next to him where he was tied, and we were, driving around the trailer and doing everything we could do, and realized he was just declining. And so we took him to UC Davis because we were close. What a place to be able to go with your horse sick. And we got to see the top expert in the country for intestinal issues with horses. And we couldn't understand how he got sick either, because, we're not the kind of people that had sick horses. So we were just like, how has this even happened? And the vet had to come tell me in the middle of the night that my horse had died.
That was a tough thing.
In that moment, I knew that I was not ever going to be a vet.
Not vet material.
I wasn't. I looked at him trying to explain it to me, and I just thought, I can never be this guy. I need to pick a new career. And what had happened to him is that he had gotten worms when he was very, very young, way before we owned him, and they had just done intestinal damage, and it was just one of those things. Very sad. Sorry. Downer. Sorry. That story went.
Took a turn.
I
there,
apologize to everybody. All right, I'm going to come around the eyes and a little personal, but yeah, I was, I thought I was Alec Ramsey. I thought I was that. I was the main character in a horse story. And that's, medical people have a tough job.
Yeah.
And sometimes the toughest part of the job is not the diagnosis or the treatment or any of that, but it's the human part of it,
Mm-hmm.
And then after a pretty good period of mourning, I ended up getting another Arabian named Troubadour. And Truby was not an athlete. Not athletic. I mean, he could do stuff, but he didn't like wind or rain or flies or the outdoors. He'd been a show horse, and he did not like making the transition to fit horse at all. He wasn't into it. So what I'm doing here is I am taking my burnt sienna and my Mars black and a little bit of white, and I am kind of marking out the gray feathering in his face. I can come back and make adjustments to his beak and everything, but it's just kind of getting these things laid in early now. Adding a little more black, and I'm using a 1/4 inch grass comb filbert, but you could just use a filbert or whatever small brush gives you some control over what's happening here. And I'm dipping very barely in the water. And you'll have to bear with me because the reference I have has lines all over it. I'm wondering if I can just use this screen for seeing how my stuff is, and I can go back to having the reference on that big screen, or I cannot. I had the reference on that big screen, but I don't know if that was very provisional.
It was.
Getting the sense that it was maybe not something that I'm going to get all the time.
You know, there's a way I could do this. Hold on.
I don't know where I put it. It's like I have this one, but I don't know where the other one is, and I can look back a good ways, and it's just not anywhere.
Shh. I have to set up.
This is the brown and the black, and I'm just kind of coloring the sides, building up those layers for himself. Get into some of my nickel azo yellow. It's like crazy yellow. This is going to, the Indian yellow, the azo yellow, it was about getting the glow on the wings, because that to me is super important.
Okay, hold on. There may be a neato thing I can do.
A neato burrito?
I don't know about that.
Neato burrito?
We're very far north to find burritos.
Yes, that's true. Shy of good
Okay. It's
food.
input 11.
Just kind of blending that out. These are just the bases under which, you know, he will rise, but he will get a little more black. And I will pull that into his wing just a titch, that value. And at this point, I will have let some stuff dry. All right, I keep checking, and I love to see Valerie and Callie there. Thank you guys for making it. And we have people over on the YouTube, I assume, maybe?
Yeah. There's definitely people on YouTube. Karen, Scott, and Barbara, and BJ I just see showed up. So
wonderful.
Let me take a look at the...
I'm going to come here and make a gray, pretty dark. And I'm going to come to the end of this wing.
Don't wait. I have to move the camera.
Oh, sorry. I'm going to actually have to lighten it up so it really shows.
All right.
The trick will be making sure this has got a good edge. And if I don't have enough of an edge, I'll literally rinse my brush out and come back. Ooh. You don't like my advice. This is the hardest part of rewatching my videos, is listening to my voice. Make sure that we've got another one right here. And again, I think it's really important to keep it as sharp as possible. So if I have to come back subtractively.
For some reason, that's not working. Let me try it again. Oh man, let me get just the camera.
It's okay. I'll work through this one.
There you go.
And then I'll spend some more time searching my you can also try to send it to me in Skype, and then I can just pull it up here. If you have it, you can send it to me in Skype and I'll pull it up there. Or I could go back through all of our Skypes till I find where I sent it to you and then put it back. I don't know where it went though. I put a bunch of stuff on the cloud. I don't know where things are. So getting these feathers out is going to be super important. Huh. But then I won't be able to see them.
Is there an extra? There is. Hold on a second.
What are you trying to do? I don't understand what he's trying to do, but something genius, I can tell.
Okay. So now you got a couple windows going on here. So
I can take a couple windows.
right here you can see.
I can run a couple windows.
And zoom.
And then this last one, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in this grouping. So those are very important to get in.
Is that helpful?
That is helpful. And I just, when I need to switch between the thingies,
Yeah.
just making
You
sure.
can see their chat here.
Oh, what did I do? There it is. Okay. So it's just 4. Okay. I'm just checking.
You just do this. Like if you keep this one just down here like so, then you can see everybody here. You can switch back and forth. Look at that.
All right.
Best of all the worlds. Well, some of the worlds.
So now,
some
as
of
I
the time.
come out to these new sort of ruffle feathers, I'll go ahead and get some of the nickel azo into that. But again, you use the Indian yellow, you use cad yellow, just kind of a slightly yellow. And I'm going to pull that in. And pull that in. And so you can see what I mean about, making sure that the green is showing as need be. And really, I just go along, making sure that I've got this nice layering or tiling of feathers. There's an interesting little kind of cluster of them that kind of happens right here. I don't know if I'm going to put them in exactly as they are, if I'm going to want to change that up a bit. Hey, Colleen, it's so good to see your face. And we can come in and add some definition. It's just sometimes it's a good idea to, if you see something in the reference, sometimes it's a great idea to paint it like you see it in the reference. And sometimes you've got to change it. So it's about, looking and saying, will this add to the composition or will it confuse the composition? If it will add some element that a person who loved owls or loved birds would recognize, you definitely want to take that chance, that moment, and do that. I'm going to continue to add this sort of off white with yellow coming through here. And then we're going to halo out these feathers and they're going to make them look super backlit. So getting those kind of starting to paint that reality in there. And then we'll finish out those points if you guys can see that. Do we have any questions I have one new message. I have a message.
You have a new message?
Oh, Colleen to everyone says, it is looking so awesome. Thank you, Colleen. If we have any questions on the YouTube, I'm going to use my grouse comb over here and duplicate what I did there here. It's okay if they're just, hanging out and chatting with each other. I accept this reality. I think I'm going to kind of change that. There, because I want to put a little bit more of a bend on it.
Mm-hmm.
And come back with a little of my green and burnt sienna. And without getting my hand completely in the paint. So we can't do zoom yet at the easel. Yet. But we will get there, maybe. Or our paint night will somehow get there. There's a possibility we can do it through maybe Vimeo or something else. We're still working it out. We're still figuring it out. We're going to come here and add another little feather. These wonderful flight feathers that are keeping him aloft. Really quite extraordinary. Pulling those out there. And you can kind of see just how he builds up and he finds his space. Burp, 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 burp. So did we get any responses on the idea that these are home paint nights?
Let's see here.
And it's okay if we didn't. I'm not mad.
Everyone's having a good time just chatting in here. I think that in general, there was, yes, this is a very good idea. And then they continue to talk about it as if that was what was going on right now.
I love my community. They are the best. I'm allowed to, in my private chat, say you guys are the best community on YouTube. I said that once on a live and got in a whole bunch of trouble with my mom's moderators. Not all of them, just some. I'm not saying y'all aren't the best too. I just like my art family a whole lot.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's how you feel. So you guys will get a chance to do this again tomorrow, because tomorrow we're going to be doing the Sargent watercolor replication. And so we're going to learn, one of the things that you do in art school is you duplicate famous works of art so that you can understand how those works of art were created. You know, how did they happen? How did they come to be? What decisions did that artist make in building them? And it's actually quite informative. So I thought it'd be really fun after I joined the MEC to do a few of the pieces. And I am excited. We're going to be doing this really amazing figure painting, which honestly, I have to tell you, I am not a prude. I can embarrass easily. Doesn't mean I'm a prude. I'm in no way a prude. And it's okay to be a prude. Every expression of human you want to be, as long as it's not hateful, is totally fine. Everyone. Or murderous. I always tell my kids that they are not allowed to be a serial killer or a politician. And that was before 2020. My daughter's like, I can be accepted as whoever I am, but as long as I'm not a serial killer or politician. And I would still love them. I would visit them in jail. For both. That's true for both. But just kidding. I don't know. I cracked myself up. Anyways, it's a nude, so expect me to be funny and have a little moment and maybe be a little flustered. Because that happened to me. It was really tough for me in figure drawing. You know, get put in the front row was not my favorite. I'm a back row girl. Just like, please don't. And that's, of course, you know, whenever you have a predilection to not wanting to be in the front, where do they stick you?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not even that I'm shy per se, because I'm outgoing. I don't know. On this, I get easily embarrassed.
That's okay.
John knows this. He's met me. He's familiar with my easily embarrassed nature.
Which is strange for you being out there on YouTubery.
You know, I suspected, I wasn't sure how hard it was going to be on me. I knew I had some skill sets. I'm going to continue to layer this color along the tail. I knew I had some skill sets to come on YouTube and teach art and teach something that other people weren't teaching at the time. And maybe bring a different perspective and a place for beginners, to be. Yeah. Because the beginner journey is longer than people think. You're a beginner for a really long time. You're fledgling for a long time before you, like in your art journey, it's a long time before you're a mid-emergent artist, which is most of your career or most of your journey. Even if you're a hobby artist, most of your journey will be mid-emergent in that space, which means you have a lot of skill and you know who you are and you're kind of working yourself out creatively. And then somewhere in there you may end up, you don't have to be professional to do this. This is a natural progression. What happens at some point, some body of work will come out of you.
Yeah.
It's just a weird thing that happens, like a side effect. And, so yeah, I had no idea. I knew I could handle some of it, but I didn't know how to handle all of it. Surprisingly, most of it has been easier than I expected. On the emotional stuff, like stuff people say to you or do, that's been easier than I expected it to be. Callie says, two of the many reasons why I could never do art school: can't be the front row girl, easily embarrassed, so nudes. But yeah, it's not that there's anything wrong. I was never like, oh, I can't believe this is happening. It'd be like terrible stuff, like, you'd be going along and then you find out that your friend in a social circle that you're in poses nude for cash on the weekend and you didn't know at all that was a thing that could happen to you on a Wednesday. Unprepared mentally for that moment, I can tell you right now. And then awkward later. It's awkward then, and then you're just like, I don't even know what to draw now. Like what do I do? I had been fine earlier, but then I was not fine, and I was just like sitting there with my little piece of charcoal, going, I don't know where to go from here. I got through it, and I got the grade, and then I burned all the art. I'm not even exaggerating. Like, I literally turned it in, got the grade, took it outside, crumpled it up, and set fire to it because I couldn't even live in the house with it. I just was just like, that was just not a person I wanted to know in the naked way. Then I found out later it was a naked person, so there was more nakedness that happened because some people are just nude people. No, you know what I mean? Some people are just nude people. They're just too nude for most situations.
I see.
No, you don't know that? Is it just me that knows that?
I don't know.
Ooh, he's looking pretty good.
He is pretty good.
He's looking pretty good. And you can see what I mean. Like, there's talking, and I don't want to put a lot of pressure on us to, I got Donna. I can admit Donna.
Bowery's over here. We
got five. I'm alive with 5 people. So alive with 5.
That's good.
I wonder if we'll ever get to Sherpa on Zoom paint along.
I imagine.
Right? Maybe someday everyone will be brave. It's hard. It's worrisome. Like, I think the reason like people haven't like fallen into this is that many people are like, I really don't want to be on camera. Because everyone's like, oh, I really want to paint with you. And then whenever they come to an event and they're like painting with me, they're like, oh, you're here, like in person, in 3D. Yeah, true that. So we'll keep working a little bit on this. I'm going to take Well, I'm here. And I've got the red out anyways. I'm going to take a little bit of my cad yellow and cad red. And let's think about the eyes. I feel like I want to move in the positioning of this eye a bit.
All right.
From where I put it. I want to move the eyes in. I think they're actually a little moved in from where they are. I might even erase that eye. Watch this, I'm going to erase it. I'm going to say, you know what? No. Because you could do that when the canvas is dry. You're like, no, I don't like you, and move it in and go dry.
That's pretty good. Just
Well, I think what it is there are things that I do in my own private painting practice that I wouldn't necessarily do in teaching on my big channel because I don't want to give anybody bad habits, but I absolutely do them.
yeah.
Like that could be a whole video of me like 6 truly bad habits that I actually do, but I would never show on my YouTube show. Because there are some bad habits that I would just never do, but I do them. I just wouldn't teach them to students because I don't want them to have that as a problem. I'm going to then come in and kind of fix that with some black. Yeah, Valerie's like, yay, more people. And Donna's like, hey, Valerie. There we go. He hasn't gotten more friendly or anything. He's just, getting there. It's interesting, you look at the shape of their eye. Oh, I gotta get my picture back. I got to chatting with everybody. And, I'm even going to kind of bring some of this here because there's this sort of brow, unibrow we'll play with. I'm going to work out some of his face before we go off. So I don't think we're going to just rush through and finish him because, again, I find you guys have a better experience when you're not rushed. And better experience, I mean, like you get more of the result that you want to have out of your painting when you're not pushed along so fast. To have to find a way to get there. Then I'll go ahead and I might as well be here because I'm here at the beak, so I might as well get some highlights and some thoughtfulness on his little beaky beak. I'm going to tap my brush up and down. So I've made a little gray and I'll tap my brush up and down. And that's how and it's just kind of like a little dotting motion to kind of delicately get that little bit of shading. Come back with a darker gray and tap back up this way. So yeah, tomorrow we'll be doing the watercolor for which I will be blushing. And going, woo! Because that's my other diffuse thing. I don't know about any of you, but do you ever like when you get like in a situation, you just like lean in the other way? You're like, there's nothing to do here, but holler back where you're like, woo! Because what are you going to do? It's done. It's happened. There's no escaping it. I'm trying to make sure there's a nice dip out, kind of back dip to the eye. I'm capturing that shape pretty well. Oh, Katie cat. Katie cat. I don't know if that's okay for me to say. I'm sorry if it's not. But we have 6 in the meeting.
We do?
We do. I love it. I do. I love it. Get a little of my yellow into my white here. Mm, 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 mm. Okay, so his grumpiness is only about to get exaggerated. Just be prepared. Not because
Mega
I'm trying to
grump.
push it, but honestly, he's a pretty grumpy little bird as it is.
He's going to turn into the mega grump.
Mega grump. And the nega owl. He's the nega owl. Sorry, we just watched Scott Pilgrim Saves the World again.
Again.
Because he's just, oh gosh. I mean, that movie was so good, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So good, so good. You just sort of tap a little bit here. The tapping up and down kind of gives a texture like what his front of his little feathers are like, where they're real short right there. That's why I do it. Getting myself a little bit of a gray. Wait, hey Valerie, he deserted Sherpa. Who deserted Sherpa?
Huh?
I don't know. Katie says to everyone, hey Valerie, he deserted Sherpa. I gotta. Oh, Bryson, I know. I don't know why I didn't follow that right away. I'm sorry, Katie. I'm not tracking today. Dentist. Gonna tap in some black too. I'm just kind of, everything is still wet, and I just want to create a very mottled little area in front here. We can come back and do other stuff with it later. I just want to make sure that that's what it is. It's kind of like a gray model area here. And then, interestingly enough, there is I'm being fussy with this little black, but there's a little bit of a thing here. And then his little feathers kind of come out like that.
Wow.
Something only someone who really paid attention to the X-Men would notice, I'm sure. So just kind of making sure the delineations of those things are well defined, you know, and maybe I'll take my smallest, my 1/4 inch. I might actually have a smaller one, but if I do, I don't know where I put it. I don't see it right now. So I'm going to say the 1/4 inch is my smallest. I'm going to put in his little feathers. So let's go white and brown to start, shall we? Add a little yellow into it, maybe. And come back there and kind of tap that along. I'm going to have to put out some more white. My paint. So since you run the heaters, whenever you run the heaters in your house, if it's winter for you, if you're not in Australia and it's winter for you, or other places where it's not winter, maybe you are. But here, if you're in a place where it's winter, what you'll find is that when you run the heating, it really dries out your paint incredibly fast. Probably a good time to get a wet palette if that's causing you any trouble. And I've got to really go pull out my humidifier for this space for my palette. Keep pulling this in, and then we come along here, tap, 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 tap. Tap, 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 tap. And then brown and black down the center. Brown and black down the center. Brown and black down the center. I'm very excited for December's little Santa painting.
Are you?
I'm also excited that we're going to finish the Red Fox girl. She's like now ready to go on the easel. I'm like, yes. She needs to get done. One, because we got to hang her before the holidays. And just because I want to finish her, because I think she speaks to why maybe our patronage is different. I feel the type of project that she is. The big, absolutely overreaching projects one should never start that we did. I'm going to get a little white into my brush to kind of create that. And then every once in a while here, I'm going to And so you just tap this out. Good, yeah?
Yeah.
But back here, I need to make sure that I've got a very bright color. So I'm going to take my white and a smidge of the nickel azo so that it comes in there and it like contaminates it like it does. But I need a very light value. I want a very light value at the back. Right here. Is important. Right here. Because we're showing him as being backlit.
Yeah.
So I don't want to get so into the pattern of his feathers that I forget to do this part to him. Because if he's not backlit, he's not going to glow. He's not going to glow. Okay, so I'm going to wrap in some more of his head, and then we'll do some Q&A if anybody has any. And then I will figure out when I want to put him back on the schedule. And if you guys, are free, come to this watercolor tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's going to be an amazing lesson. We're going to complete it all. The other lessons are the one and dones. So just like we did the Peter Pan in one session, we'll do the watercolor in one session, and we'll do the upcoming also start like where's that? Yeah, Sergeant, the girl in the blue garden. So we're gonna get them all done that way. Now I'm turning my brush on its corner. I'm just making sure that I kind of capture the little ridges that he has there. He's got some little ridges.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna paint his little ridges. Don't undermine his ridges. He likes his ridges. Bring in some dark feathers. He has feelings. He told me. I listen to him. He talks to me all the time. Don't be worried. It's fine. Come here and tap in some little featherings.
Yeah.
Tap in some more little featherings. Now I want to wipe this out on my paper towel and come get some more white on my brush. I'm going to come right here. Kind of show this part of his little feather face. When it comes in real quick.
Yeah.
And also make sure I'm getting that here. And come right here. And tuck in around the beak, because the beaks often have a little kind of feathering that goes towards them instead of away from them. How you guys loving it? Hi, Bryson, says calling to everyone. All right, dried from my shower before the show. I'll share my video self. I love it. Hey, everybody. Hi, Bryson. Okay, and I see Valerie, and she's looking fabulous. We'll finish up this little shadow here, and then if you guys have any questions, we'll put a little bit of time on the clock for that, so you guys can ask me directly any little questions that you might have. Keep me on my toes. And make sure that I kind of show a little bit of a dark edge here. There we go. Getting that little face kind of worked in. There's still some more to work out there, but we're starting to see, what it's going to be and the direction it's going to go. It's nice to come in maybe with a little bit of white. In a couple places. Because wonderfully these to be camouflaged, their feathers have to do some really fascinating stuff. You can really play with the image.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. Now, I will post this picture up. It will be in your next newsletter. Oh my goodness, please open the newsletters because the newsletters have your links. It lets you know where your Zoom are. It lets you know anything we've got going on. You guys got a first look at 2021's life book design. So you got to see that. Well, Tamara Laporte, who hosts the thing, got to see it a little bit before you, but because, she had to see it before she could approve it. I try to send her stuff so she makes sure like I haven't gone completely out of my mind and painted something crazy, but that's what it's going to be. I sent out 3 newsletters, but apparently the affiliate links were not locked in. So that one has the correct one in there. And that's what I'm going to do. And then I did some digital papers, which I showed you guys as the free gift for the tardigrades. I mentioned this to you because our last project is a collage, and I'm going to include the digital papers into my collage in some way. I don't know how. Oh, I'm going to admit Karen's Galaxy A50. And I've got a message. It says 1 message waiting. All right, I'm good. I got everything. 7 participants. Okay. So. All right, John, you organize I organize. If you have a question.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do. So that the people in Zoom can have their open Zoom discussion and chat, we're going to sign off here on YouTube.
Say thank you to everyone who came on YouTube. Enjoy the replay.
And suggest that you come back over and visit us for the little Zoom after party where we just unplug and allow someone to chat so you guys don't have to worry about recording or pressure.
Yeah. But again, we won't record you. We recognize your right. I have signed up for a YouTube live. You have not. So
but
totally
this way, there's no risk at all. There's nothing on it. We're not broadcasting.
Nothing. So be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. And I want to see you real soon.